Hello everyone, this is Kweku from Next Gen Windows, and here I am bringing you another Windows 10 video about the Windows 10 event that just came out today. So, in this video I am going to talk about Windows 10 itself. I'm not going to talk about Xbox on Windows 10. I'm not going to talk about Windows Phone 10. That'll be another video. I'm going to just break up these things into segments and just make them watch what you want to see instead of just having a giant 30-minute video telling you everything that is on the event. So this event is Windows 10 itself, the operating system itself, and the way I'm going to show you this is through the images, various images that I'll just be showing you in a slideshow here. So for starters, here you can see all the people in the crowd. This is the expanded start menu on Windows 10. Now let me see if I can in fact zoom into this picture here. There we go. So this is the expanded start menu for Windows 10. This is like the tablet start menu. So essentially the way he got up there was a button around here. I think it's actually this button. It transforms obviously when you expand it. And when you press this button here, it will shrink the start menu back to what I'm using, which is a basic Windows 10 start menu. So if you've seen that start menu, I'll probably post an image of it or a link to one. That's essentially what that is. And this is just a giant bloated view of it. That way if you have a tablet, it's much easier to navigate through. That's something that we've been waiting for a while that hasn't been out yet, but I believe it's coming out in this build next week. I hope so. That'll hope for the best. And another thing you'll notice on this screen here is, in fact, I'm not sure what this says. It looks like PAX or FAX or something, but you can just see how categorized everything is. Most used, you can see, I don't know what this says, but you can see that image, those stuff over there in the corner too. Everything's categorized. So you have personal, you have like grids of personal, you have grids of icons and things like that, versus on Windows 8.1, which I haven't even been using for like at least 2 months or 3 months, where everything was just slide across and you can't do anything about it. This one looks like you swipe up, you go up and down. You swipe up and down like iPads and other tablets and things like that, or if you're browsing a web page. So that's a cool thing that they have right there. I like saying cool thing for some reason, but you'll see here everything is more gridded, like everything seems closer together in terms of the grid. You can tell these are previews. This is a preview build because right here the store, it says, I believe it says Windows Store, but it's written over the Windows Store icon when you already know it's a store because it says store in the corner. So ignore all those little things because they did say that this is a preview build and testing, so there will be hiccups since it is a beta. But another thing you'll see is everyday apps here. So they have grouped their apps in everyday apps. Most likely everyday apps either continues down to here or maybe goes up to here. I'm not sure where this tab ends and where the next one begins, but obviously when I get my hands on it, hopefully next week, I can show you guys an in-depth analysis of exactly how everything works, start menu video and everything like that. So you can see here you have other things. Let's see, it says explore windows, so you have getting started or get started. You have I'm not sure what this says. I can't see it up close. It's like really blurry, but this looks like some kind of feedback option or things like that. And then you have like Windows help or Windows support, something like that. So I can't really tell what these things say, obviously, because it's too blurry for me to see that. But you can see just how it's laid out. It looks really nice, looks very clean compared to Windows 8, where everything was just you swipe left and right and that's where all your stuff are, and then there's hidden menus here and there. Everything is kind of exposed here. Another thing that you will notice is this taskbar down here. Now the taskbar looks far different from what my taskbar looks like and your taskbar looks like. On our taskbars, we just have icons on our taskbar and then the start button. That's all we have. And if you're running the preview version, you have a search button and you have the task view button. But on this taskbar, you have the task view button here, which essentially allows you to, I think I made another video on that, it allows you to switch virtual desktops, which wasn't talked about that much in this one because they already talked about it. So they only talked about new stuff in this one. Allows you to switch virtual desktops and allows you to just do a lot of things. So they have the start button, which brings you to here. Most likely this is a tablet. And then they have the search button. Now the interesting thing about search button, let me see if I have an image for it. Let me see if I can I zoom out of this? Let me see if I can zoom out of this and see if I have an image for it. No, I don't. Yeah, so here it is. The search button essentially shows this here. So it shows Cortana. And it looks just like Windows Phone. So if you're familiar with Windows Phone, it's really useful for you. One thing that is really awkward though, that I do notice on this one, this is Windows Phone, is that it's kind of overlapping the text. This could be just an editing issue or just a software issue, but little things that I noticed that most people don't. Ignore that. But you can see when you search in there, instead of it just searching like in Windows 10 currently, when you search, it brings up a giant screen of giant full screen search, or not giant full screen search, it just brings up a tiny little non-graphics, doesn't look very nice search. This just shows up Cortana like in Windows Phone. You can search just like if you have a Windows Phone, so it's a cool feature like that. Now backing up back to here, you can see here also they have the icons here on the thing, just like before, just like on Windows 7 and 8 and all that stuff. Then you have your keyboard, and then you have all the usual things that you have on your taskbar. Moving on to the next image that I actually wanted to show you guys. On the Surface Pro 3 here, they're showing off Continuum, and its Continuum essentially allows you to, if you're using a tablet, when you dock, say, your Surface or whatever tablet you have that is a convertible, meaning it detaches from the keyboard, when you undock it, it gives you a little prompt in the corner, bottom right corner of the screen, usually where those little pop-ups come up on Windows 7 and 8 and things like that. Gives you a little prompt, and you just tap that prompt, and it'll automatically make everything bigger and make things nicer for you for tablet views. So it's, for instance, if you have a start menu, it'll expand the start menu to this giant screen start menu, that start screen. That way you can manage everything with your hands versus having to touch these tiny little icons with your fingers that usually never work very well, including for me anyway. So that's essentially all they were showing off in that view. I already talked about the start screen here, so we can move on to the next one. And the next one here, they're just showing you how things kind of look on a tablet on Windows 10. So I kind of took these back to back. Like, I think the previous image was supposed to be before this one. Was supposed to be after this one. So this is essentially how all the icons would have looked like, and then when you made it full screen, it just expands the apps to full screen and things like that. One thing that you will notice that I noticed, I tweeted about it, was these buttons up here. Now currently these buttons up here, this is how it looks like up here. It have the X button in dark, it's all black above, and then when you hover over it, it turns red, or you hover over these two, it turns blue. Now all you have to do for an app, you can just hit full screen instead of pressing those tiny little menu here. You can hit full screen, and then you can make it full screen, so it's easy for you, and most likely you can make it minimized or smaller just by clicking that same button. That will, I bet, will always appear. It will forever be appearing on there. It won't disappear on you like in the past where things were just not there. They were hidden from the view. So on to the next page. Ironically, the Patriots are on there, about the least trusted team, the whole deflated football thing. So next page here, this is how Windows 10's notification center looks like on the phone and on Windows 10 desktop. So essentially, they're just giving you a comparison. What they're showing you is how notifications transfer across the phone to your desktop seamlessly. They will always look exactly the same. So if you swipe away notifications on your phone, it'll swipe away on here. You can reply to text messages straight from the notification menu. So that's a pretty cool feature, just like on the phone. You can see on Facebook right there. You can see your Facebook notifications, and then you can see when Facebook is updated, and every app was updated just from the notification menu, and it allows you to just swipe away that group, that Facebook group, just like currently how you can do that on Windows Phone 8.1. So that's another cool thing that they have. They have seamless notification screen. You can see notifications look much nicer than before. I'm not sure if you guys can see this, but I have a Fitbit, and right now I got a ton of notifications. Oops, it's gone now, but I had a ton of notifications here, and essentially it doesn't look nice, but this looks much nicer, and hopefully this is what it'll look like in the build that when it comes out. Another thing that I do want to tell you guys about is how grayed out everything is. Everything looks black, and I'm hoping that they will still allow us to have colored menus, or this might be just a theme. In fact, this might be just a theme that you can set, a black theme, and then you have a black start menu. If you have a red theme, you can have a red taskbar and start menu. So that'd be a cool thing that they have. And then the volume, it looks like they updated the icon finally from the Windows 7 and 8 volume white icon. So on to the next page, you can see Cortana yet again. I just showed you that image. And then you can see Mail. They updated the Outlook app for Mail and Phone for desktop and phone. So now you can see the UI looks pretty consistent across all of it. Obviously for phone, unless you have a giant device, it's not going to look like this. This is for tablets. This is for, you know, giant devices. They didn't say anything about giant phones having a mail app that looks like this on the vertical or on the horizontal. But that would be cool if you could turn it horizontal and then it would show this screen, this UI on your phone. That'd be awesome. And then vertical will show this. That'd be cool. But this is how it looks like. This is how mail looks like. Outlook mail for specific reasons, because it's their mail app. And you can see basically it doesn't look too different. It has more icons at the bottom, makes it easier for you to jump through things. It's got the smiley face, which I think that looks like favorites or like feedback report, something like that. Contoso, I don't know. I guess that's the person's mail account, or that's what their mail account is. Then you can see the reply all, and things are nice and clean. You don't have to guess what each button means, and they're nice and big, so you can actually tap them very easily, just like everything else on the screen. So on to the next screen right there. Here you can see your contacts. So here's your contacts, your people hub. They have a hamburger menu, of course. People don't like hamburger menus, some people, but it's here. They have a hamburger menu up here. They got the 3 lines, and essentially allows you to see all your contacts. It looks much different. It looks much cleaner, much nicer than before, where it was just grids of friends and people that you enjoy being around, hopefully. And you can see what's new with each person straight from the People Hub, just like from before. I'm calling it People Hub, even though they call it Contacts up here. Essentially, that's what it is a People Hub. They have the same icon as the People Hub. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the friends and family and contacts screen there. You can see achievements not achievements. You can see everything related to that one person. So a cool thing that they have here is, say you're talking to Peter Tapia or Tapia. If you have his Skype information, you can Skype them or message them on Skype, or you can hit the drop down menu. You can message them somewhere else, like Facebook, if you download the app, or you can call them on an app, which allows you to either call them on Skype or whatever else app you're using, just like video calling. You can call them on Skype, you can video call them on Skype, or you can switch the app by clicking the drop down menu and you can switch it up. You can see the address. Hopefully this is a fake address, because that would suck if this was a real one. But you can see the address of that person and probably just tap that to open up maps and Bing Maps and be able to route yourself to there. Another thing that you can do is call them directly, call mobile. So most likely you'll be able to, you know, if you have a Windows phone nearby or a phone nearby, you'll be able to call people straight from your computer, just like how Macs are doing soon, or actually Macs are doing right now. So that's another interesting thing that they have, that they're bringing over. It's a trend that's going on right now, is everything, your phone and your computer should not be 2 separate identities. They should be pretty much one identity, and that way everything's easy. When you lose your phone, you can just pick up from your computer, which you'll probably never lose, because you can't lose a laptop really. And then next image here, they are showing off the Photos app on Windows 10. So you can see right here, I'm actually making this slideshow on the Photos app. I just simply, you know, opened up the photos in the Photos app, and this is how I'm using it. You can see how the menus look like in this app right here, all the stuff here. And now this is how the Photos app looks like when you open up a photo. So everything looks quite different. I don't have to open up the Charms bar or anything like that. I'm using Windows 10, so it's actually up here in the corner. But I don't have to open up all these extra things to do things. You see, everything's at the bottom here. On this app, everything's nicely laid out. It looks nice and clean. It's actually quite a nice thing, and it actually says that it'll automatically make albums for you if you have photos together, so it can actually look something like this, and that looks really nice. Me being a graphic design major, anything that looks, I'll be saying nice design for a lot of things on everyone's things, if it's nice. So this looks actually really clean and nice, pretty much how everything is going, flat and clean looking UIs, not skeuomorphic looking UIs. So that's the Photos app right there. So on to the next screen here. This is essentially, in a gist, this is essentially Windows 10 in a nutshell. So Windows 10, in a future video, I will be talking about this device right here. They call this the Surface Hub. Essentially, this is like the next generation of Perspective Pixel. Basically, this is the next generation of Surface. What used to be Surface, the giant screen things, this is the next generation of that. And it runs Windows 10. And it's got a lot of sensors, and I won't talk any more about it because I can go on all day about it. And this is essentially what the UI will look like on it. It's for business use, most most likely used for that. You can pay for it, but it is an 84-inch screen. I'm sure they'll have a smaller screen for that. This is the Microsoft HoloLens headset. It's a virtual reality headset. I made a video on that, which will be posting the link below, along with all the other videos I made for this. This is Xbox and Windows 10. I highly doubt the UI will look like this, because people will rage really hard if it looks like this. It doesn't look organized at all, but this is Xbox on Windows 10 according to this concept art. And then this right here, let me zoom in down here. This is the start menu on Windows 10. It is transparent now. They did show off it being transparent on video. This is what it looks like, and it looks different from what I currently have right now on me. But the apps are currently the same. Everything is currently the same. They have Cortana support. It's transparent. It looks clean. You can hit all apps, and it opens up all apps, and everything is nicely laid out. This is how it looks like on a laptop, which is pretty much the same thing as a desktop. This is the full screen start menu, and this is the start menu you see to the right here. This is how it looks like when you turn your device vertical. Oops. This is how it looks like when you turn your device vertical. Basically, it looks the same thing as before, only it is vertical. On the phone, on a phablet size phone, on a regular size phone, and then system on a chip, which essentially is like Windows RT and things like that. So yeah, essentially Windows 10 in a nutshell. Let's see what's on another image. And then they also have other images talking about Project Spartan, which is their new web browser for Windows 10. I'll talk about that in another video as well. This was just simply the features of Windows 10. But essentially it can apparently run Google Chrome apps, which is really interesting to me. That means they don't have to really make apps specifically for Project Spartan, which is the code name for this browser. They don't have to make apps for it. All they have to do is just use Google Chrome apps, which is crazy because Microsoft and Google are like fighting like brothers and sisters, siblings. Next picture here, an up close look at each start screen or start menu for phone and PC. So you can see here, this is how the start screen looks like. You can see Frozen Freefall, something that person was currently playing, places, start menu, all the icons. You can see everything has been updated and things like that. Here's the button that I was talking about that allows you to put the start screen to full screen for tablet use, or if you just like the full screen look. And then here's how it looks like for phone. Currently on Xbox One, got a text message. Currently on Xbox One, the tiles are also transparent. Not transparent in how they were describing on Windows Phone, but transparent in that you have a background image in the back of it, and the tile, you can see the image through the tiles, versus on Windows Phone right now where the tiles have the image on them and the background is black or white. So that's how it looks like on Xbox as well. And it's also, I guess they're carrying out all the transparent looks, the arrow looks, the updated arrow looks, I'll call it, on Windows 10 as well. Let's see what other image I have here. So here's the comparison between the two. This is actually the last image. Here's leaving you guys with a comparison of the two start menus. This is the start menu, start screen. All you had to do was click this full screen button, and it'll maximize it fully to this screen here. And just pressing that button will minimize it back down to this. And then you click simply the off button, and you're off your computer just like that, or restart it, or asleep. So there you go, Windows 10 in a nutshell. This was a very long video. I didn't want to make it this long, but this is Windows 10 in a nutshell. And yeah, I will catch you guys later making more videos. Obviously, Project Spartan is next that I'll be making a video on. And then next week will be a big week again because the actual bits come out for everyone to use. And I'll be making a video definitely on that. And another video definitely on when Xbox gets a preview build of Windows 10's update features and things like that. I'll be testing out the Xbox app, which allows me to play my Xbox One games on my PC. It allows me to message people. It's basically updated smart glass app. I'll be testing out tons and tons of things. Hopefully I get my hands on the headset as well in the future. Maybe this fall coming up, or this winter. Hopefully all these things are coming out. It's kind of blowing my mind. My name is Kweku. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe. It'll help a lot. And I'll be continuing to push out tons and tons of content for the near future in terms of Microsoft and anything interesting that I find related to this subject matter. My name is Kweku, and this is Next Gen Windows, and I'll catch you guys.